Let's move on to the next slide. This slide is about system evaluation factors. System evaluation item, functional evaluation. That is, evaluate whether the functions implemented in the system accurately perform the function required by the user. And performance evaluation. Evaluation of whether the system can be performed according to the operation schedule prepared in the operation plan. Performance evaluation criteria: CPU speed or memory capacity, and response time, return time, turnaround time, file organization and access method, find device and card reader print speed, structure and range of work program, multiplicity and priority of work plan. This evaluation item is reliability assessment. This is evaluate how accurately the system handles many tasks without failure and gives efficiency and benefit. Reliability evaluation factor: overall utilization rate of system, economic effect of processing performed to improve reliability, and balance of reliability of each element constituting the system. Reliability assessment: average breakdown time, mean time between failure, MTBF, is the average uptime, the average value of the time the job is running from the time the system breaks down to the next breakdown. And average repair time is MTTR, mean time to repair, the average value of the time during which the system failed to work. The average value of the time from when the fault occurred to when the repair is completed. Reliability is percentage of operating time out of the system's total operating hours. We will review items for system implementation plan. Detailed design, programming, system test, system implementation, agent training, hardware system introduction and installation. Information needed to evaluate system adoption. Estimation of information creation cost. This cost is information creation cost. Implementation plan establishment of system. After the outline design is completed, it is prepared to obtain management approval. Minus factors by introduction cost, for example, temporary expenses, equipment cost, equipment purchase cost, software development cost, operating expenses, labor cost, machine rental, or depreciation cost, consumable cost. But positive factors due to the introduction effect, direct effect, reduction of labor cost, reduction of office expenses, reduction of management, and work efficiency. We will learn about documentation. First of all, documentation can be defined. Documentation provides information to make the system easier to use and repair. There are several types of documentation. First, system documentation. System documentation is intended to help programmers and analysts understand and maintain the system after it is installed. System documentation can and should include all the analysis and design documents that we have created in this course. System documentation would definitely include programming design documents, well-commented coding, and any informal notes taken along the way, the second main type of documentation, which we will be focusing on these contents. And next type is user documentation. This is the documentation that is intended to help user operate the system. It is essentially the help function of any software. There are three main types of documentation that you can include in user documentation. One is reference documentation. Reference documentations are documents that explain how to perform system functions. The second is procedure manuals, which are to perform business tasks, including manual procedures. Third type is tutorials, or how to use system components. There are many ways to organize documentations. It is possible and often preferable to create redundant documentation in different formats and organizations. For example, you can organize your help documentation by tasks, how to perform some tasks. You could organize by commands that can be performed on multiple objects. You could organize by definition. In other words, create a dictionary-like document defining key terms. You should also focus on the navigation of your documentation. The navigation of user documentation is just as important as the navigation of user interface. There are several different navigation tools you can use in your help documentations. You have probably seen many of these people. One example is a table of contents. Another is an index. High quality documentation takes about 3 hours per page or 2 hours per screen. You can just sit down and publish your first draft. You need to edit, get feedback from users, and edit some more. The tasks should not be left to the end of the project, but should be started as soon as possible. The time required to develop and test user documentation should be built into a project plan. Online documentation is predominant today above paper documentations. Here are some guidelines for crafting documentation topics. Don't omit any step because you assume the user knows how to do that step. Use the active voice with direct instructions. Use consistent terms. Use simple, friendly language. Use parallel grammatical structure. Use step correctly as action. Use short paragraphs. The purpose and notes of documentation can be described as follows. First, a purpose. It is easy take over from system development team to operation team. Easy to understand, so you can thoroughly update and maintain the content. Enable parallel development by multiple developers. Documentation shared properly can be programmed. Efficient work and management through standardization of documents. Preventing confusion caused by system changes. Easy education and easy training of operates by documentation, used as a communication tool among related parties. And notes. Notes the different interpretation depending on the reader. Pay attention to expressions that depend on the expansive power of the person writing. Be careful not to lose expression or contradictions. Use possible tables or symbols and minimize sentence expression. Use standardized regulatory paper. The paper suitable for filling or copying. Minimize paper and simplify content. Documented by a process flow chart, by input blueprint, by system requirements statement, by output blueprint, by feasibility report, file blueprint, documented by analysis statement, code list, design specifications. The effects of documentation are summarized in stages as shown in following figures. Documentation, easy information exchange, and clear responsibilities, accumulation of information. Documentation effects on managers. It is easy to make a work plan. It is easy work management. Easy planning of staffing. Easy to distribute work. Easy outsourcing management. Documentation effects on developers. Easy to understand software system. System analysis and design can be done efficiently. Writing programs is easy. When writing a program, errors can be reduced. Easy to fix errors. It is easy to change or repair the program. And then purpose and effectiveness of standardization. It is easy to take over the program and pay for the transfer of personnel. Program conversion can be easily done according to the change of work process and model change. Easy to program so you can train open programmers. Less programming effort, less time, and cost savings. In terms of operation management, management evaluation becomes easy, and it becomes effective data when developing a new system. This slide is describe elements required for standard design. Uniform programming guidelines. Unification of detailed flowchart. Unification of coding. Unification of debugging. This slide is reviews standardization of documentation. Standardization of documentation items. This can be achieved by documenting items of documentation that appear during analysis, design, implementation, testing, and maintenance activities following the software development methodology. Standardization of documentation notation can be achieved using diagrams or notations. Summary in this week lectures. Understand the purpose of system evaluation. Determination of system performance and usefulness. Determine if there are any improvements in system processing cost and efficiency. Determine if the system is properly operated and managed. Avoid the same error when evaluating other systems. Reference for smooth progress when developing other systems. The evaluation elements of the system are functional, performance, and reliability. System performance evaluation criteria include CPU speed and memory capacity, response time, return time, file organization and access method, file device and card reader, print speed, structure and language of work program, and the like. The reliability evaluation factors of the system include the utilization rate of the entire system, the economic effects of the treatment performed to improve reliability, and the balance of reliability for each element consisting the system. The purpose of documentation is as follows. Easy takeover from system development team to operation team. Easy to understand, so you can thoroughly update and maintain the contents. Enables parallel development by multiple developers. Shared property can be programmed. Efficient work and management through standardization of documents. Preventing confusion caused by system changes. Easy education and training of operators by documentation. Used as a communication tool among related parties.